Yo. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show. Once again, we are back comfortably seated in my cozy chair with all the special cushions and lumbar supportive agents and such. Although I cannot wait for my new chair to come in, it will be glorious. But I digress. The topic of this video is not to talk about my spinal support, but really to talk about you losing fat. That's been the theme of the week, losing fat. And I wanted to explain fat loss. Number one, how's the audio? How's the video? We have a slightly new hardware in the studio right now. Hopefully it looks a little better and sounds just as good. That is the goal here. Let me know if it's working well. Leave the comments in the chat section as we speak. Also, sounds good. Well, that makes me very happy to hear. And oddly, but I have a gift for you guys. Right now, I'm putting this into the chat. This is very simple, and I will get on to the fat loss video, but this is important. Right now, you click that link, and you can earn 3 stocks for free. That's right. What you can do is go to Webull.com. You get 1 free stock simply for registering an account. Costs nothing. You will get 2 additional free stocks valued between $8 and $1,600 if you simply deposit $100 into your own personal investment account. That's your money, and you can even take the money back after your stocks are all deposited in. There's no rule against that. Although I suggest considering investing a few dollars per week, per month, per year into the future you. You know, we speak about that on this channel. I personally use Webull. I love Webull. It's an amazing, easy, intuitive application that allows me to invest in real time, pre-market and during trading hours, and purchase great stocks. I love VOO, Vanguard's S&P 500, one of the most successful index funds out there. I'm not telling you to buy that. I like to buy that. Tesla and Apple and NEO, and there's some great other ones out there that I like, but that's up to you guys. Now, let's get back to the point of the video. Fat loss. Fat loss explained. And I wanted to give you 3 governing tips to understand with regard to your personal fat loss program. Number 1, fat loss is not weight loss. Fat loss is often misconstrued as weight loss. Total body weight loss is good, but it's not ideal because we want to lose non-functional body mass. Really, we want to lose body fat. Subcutaneous visceral between the muscle and the skin, the nasty cottage cheese that we can visually see, and also the visceral body fat in your abdominal area underneath the muscles wrapped around your organs that can kill you. Typically in the 50-year-old demographic and up, visceral body fat is just terrifying to have. We want to eliminate this to the best of our ability to do so. Fortunately, I can tell you how to do that right now. So we want to understand that weight loss is not fat loss, okay? Now, let's talk about targeting specific fat loss. Does the calories in, calories out equation lose body fat? It can, but it's not selective. What does that mean? If I simply drop my calories, will I lose body fat? Probably. Will I lose muscle? Probably. Will I lose bone density over a long enough period of time? Probably. Will I lose water weight? Probably. Many people misconstrue total weight loss with fat loss, and they resort to calorie deprivation in order to, quote, lose fat, when in fact, they will not lose fat preferentially. They will lose a multitude of different segments of total body weight, thinking they are becoming lean and healthy, when in fact, they often are not. So the simple reduction of calories does not create fat loss. Do we need to be in a calorie deficit to have optimal fat loss? Well, it can help if your calories are optimally structured. Number one, we have to have high net nutrients per calorie. We get that from healthful whole foods, what we call earth grown nutrients, spread evenly throughout the day. We like a feeding window of over 10 hours on average. The most rigorous and stringent of our diet programs do not offer any feeding windows smaller than a 10-hour period, which means you would be essentially fasting for 14 hours and feeding for 10. This would not be considered intermittent fasting, I have to say. This would be considered typically living a relatively normal life with specific focus on total fat loss. Okay. And for the average person, anywhere between 11 to 13 hours of a feeding window seems to work extremely well, knowing that you will be sleeping for 8 of the 24 hours. Likely you will have your dinner 2 to 3 hours or a meal 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. So that puts you at 8, 9, 10 to 11 hours. And also, hopefully, you're performing at least 1 hour of fasted exercise, to which we always suggest low intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity, aka LISS, which is simply walking at a relatively low pace. This is amazing for all health. Longevity, cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory. This is amazing, but also gender specific targeted fat loss efficiency is dramatically improved during fasted lists in the absence of insulin. I speak on this consistently. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Go back and watch part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5 of the video series that we have recorded and shared with you over the last week. There's a lot of great content there, friends. Before you go and, I don't know, watch, kitten videos, is that still a thing on YouTube? Or before you go watch the Natty or Not videos, or before you go and, I don't know what other rabbit holes there are in YouTube these days, but go back and watch like the first 10 minutes of those 5 videos. That will give you a massive education on what types of cardio to perform and at what times, on what type of strength training you should be performing, including set and rep schemes, the exact type of menu plan you should be following, and also what supplements you should be considering consuming while trying to gain healthy, functional, lean muscle tissue and dramatically reducing total body fat. Now, the point of this video is to discuss fat loss. Remember, we have subcutaneous fat, which is between the muscle and the skin. That's where I can actually poke you like the Pillsbury Doughgirl or squeeze it and pinch an inch, right? That's the fat you can see called subcutaneous. And then we have visceral body fat. Both of these are indicators of poor health once we reach a specific threshold. We want to make sure we are walking at a healthful body weight, eliminating the percentage of all-cause mortality. Males, we know, above 14% body fat have a higher incidence of death and disease and metabolic conditions. As that percentage goes higher and higher through the teens, your percentage of likely serious health complications dramatically increases. It's the hockey stick effect. Now, you must also bang, give this video a thumbs up, my friends. I appreciate you. It allows me to know you are out there. It allows me to know that you care about this content. Also, it allows the YouTube overlords to know that you guys are engaged with this. I appreciate those thumbs up. It means a lot to me. It really does help us. And I will ask you every so often. I'll keep giving you the free information for sure. So you can gift us with that thumbs up should you decide to do so. Also, subscribe to the channel, more so to make sure you don't miss these videos. Click that notification so you are told when I go live. And I will be answering everyone's question here. So it's free. I mean, for me to do this, just engage with us. Thank you. Now, When we speak about that high incidence of body fat as we get past the mid-teens into the 20s to 30s, now you're looking at a guy who at 5'10" in my mid-20s weighed 282 pounds at over 30% body fat. I had high blood pressure and sleep apnea. I was hooked to a Holter monitor to monitor the workings of my heart. I was a competitive power lifter, lying to myself and pretending that I was healthy by overeating to a degree that makes me sick to think about right now. Though I was very strong and the barbells I moved were very impressive, I was eroding my health. And I knew the whole time, and I will say this honestly and openly. I admit it to you. I knew I was full of it. I knew I was being a glutton. I knew I was overeating on food, and I had an ego. Me and all my lifting buddies, who could eat more food and whatnot, who could lift more weights. And that's just the way it goes when you're a young man sometimes. And I had a come to Jesus moment, as they say. Little old Dr. Lau, probably 5'1", maybe all 96 pounds of her, put her little finger in my chest and said, "You are a very stupid boy. What are you doing? This is terrible. You know better." She was my doctor at the time. And she just spun my head. And I realized, what am I doing? This is freaking ridiculous. And I immediately adopted what we call our Living Lean program. The Living Lean program, the Living Lean book, #1 bestseller, which is amazing, and the subsequent Living Lean cookbooks were developed as a result of my own 110-pound weight loss, eating these healthful whole foods, dramatically changing my body, going from 282 all the way down to 169 pounds before slowly recompositioning, rebuilding my body, and getting back up to where I am right now, approximately 210, 212, 211 actually this morning. But I bounce in there. I digress. So with regards to fat loss, calories in, calories out, meh, if that's all you're focused on, you are going to underperform. You will middle in your fitness the rest of your life. You must be focused, #1, on high net nutrient foods. We'll get to the calories, but if you jump over these high net nutrient foods, you won't have the calcium, you won't have the magnesium, you won't have the zinc, you won't have the folate, you won't have all the essential vital nutrients you need in order to thrive. I equate the micronutrients to nails in the structure of your mansion. You want to build a mansion? That's great. The lumber is the macros. Okay? The macros, the copper piping, the electrical wire, that's your macros. Fine, great. The nails and the screws are the micros. If you are micronutrient deficient, picture the room you're in right now and just picture selectively pulling a few nails, 1 or 2 or 3 nails from each junction, from each board, from each fitting. What will happen to your structure, my friends? This is probably the best analogy I can offer. If you are micronutrient deficient, you are simply pulling the nails, pulling the bolts, pulling the screws out of your structure. There will be a collapse. So, to simply focus on calories, to simply focus on macros, will definitely, without a doubt, create dysfunction. In our system, we start with the nails, the most important aspect of the structure itself, ensuring all that high quality lumber will actually firmly stay together. You can now build a solid, reliable foundation and continue to grow and expand upon without worry that it will one day fall in upon itself. Your back won't snap under a heavy deadlift. You won't get some sort of ailment or illness simply because your buddy sneezed on you, whatever it might be. We can go down that rabbit hole, but not on this video. So we eat this healthful whole food, high net nutrient foods. And with the high net nutrient foods, you can then start to consume a proportion of these foods that do have a macro balance. So we start with the micros, then we get to the macros, the protein, the carbs, the fat. If you watch episode 3 of the 5-part series, I shot it last week, part 3, you will see exactly what I speak about. I think last Friday, a week ago, on the exact macros to consider to build healthful or healthy muscle mass. The goal of fat loss is to preserve every ounce, every gram of lean, healthy, sexy muscle tissue. What's the point of losing weight if you're losing muscle at the same time? Because as you lose muscle, your body fat percentage goes up. So if you lose 1 pound of fat and 1 pound of muscle, you're still going to look in the mirror and look exactly the same, but smaller, and be able to perform at a lower relative level. So what's the point of that? We must fight to preserve every ounce, every gram of lean, healthy muscle tissue. This is very hard without the assistance of anabolic steroids and growth agents and all the other pharmaceuticals that are out there that many other in the YouTube fitness world are taking right now while telling you to simply follow their crappy calorie controlled diet and you'll be fine. You won't be fine. You won't be fine. If you jump over the micronutrient foundation and you go straight to the low net nutrient macros, you will not be fine. This will not be sustainable. And we can look around to all your coworkers, all your teammates, most of your family, and you can remember the crappy diet program that they followed that they don't follow anymore. What happened? They lost weight, but they felt terrible. They lost weight, but they looked terrible. They lost weight, but they performed terribly, right? We all remember that. You can picture, as I'm saying it, you picture exact examples of those people who followed these low net nutrient diets. So I wanted to use this time to sit and hang out with you before I jump in here and answer these questions to make sure you are focused on these high net nutrient, micronutrient, phytonutrient dense foods. And then we can build out our macros. That's fine. We can have the 1 gram of protein per pound of relatively lean muscle mass. Absolutely. That's great. We can consume 2 to 4, well, let's say 1 to 4 grams of carbohydrate per pound of relatively lean body weight. That's actually pretty impressive. A guy my size, I eat between 200 to 400 grams of carbohydrates per day. And if you watch my videos on my YouTube or my Instagram story, you see me consistently getting leaner, but not getting smaller. Though my process might take longer than a bunch of the pharmaceutically enhanced YouTube fitness experts out there, ours will be much more sustainable. I will happily gain a quarter a pound of muscle per month at this age and stage of my lifting career. Many of you right now can put on 20 pounds of lean muscle tissue in 6 months if you're relatively new to strength training. If you're in that entry level novice to early level intermediate, if you've been training for 0 to 3 years, depending on intensity, genetics, food, rest, sleep, recuperation, stress management, you can put on another 20 pounds for sure. A guy like me who's been doing it my whole life, if I can put on 4 pounds of lean, healthy, functional muscle tissue, truly, I'm talking real muscle tissue in a year, I'm going to fucking high five. And any experienced lifter or qualified strength coach or any advanced academic out there, they're nodding their head and they agree. Now, maybe I can have a good year and put on 6. And I'm not talking about reclaiming old muscle I once had, then lost. I'm talking about the replication of new muscle tissue. That takes a lot longer, but look at my photos. This is the beauty of it. I wish I could throw it up here right now. My man, John Trigg, is going to help me with that here soon. I could, pull that shit up, Jamie, and I could throw up a video. That's what we're working on right now in the new studio build for you guys. So I could show some of these photos. I'm tracking my personal progress. I'm tracking my exercise. I'm tracking my sets, my reps, all the stuff. I'm tracking my blood work. I'm tracking my body fat percentage to my ability to do so because the quarantine shuts down a lot of the diagnostic tools that I've been using previously. So it's been a little bit challenge, but you guys will get it. So I'm not too worried about that. And it's the consistent reduction of total body fat. This is, when done properly, it's a lifelong process. That's the goal. So yes, we have our amazing 3 weeks to shredded program, lose 21 pounds in 21 days. It is fucking awesome. And you will lose 21 pounds in 21 days if you have the weight to lose and if you are dedicated and diligent and follow the program. And a few other aspects. Not everybody will lose it, but many people do. So you can go to thedolcediet.com if you want to learn more about that. Promo code burn fat and save 20% right now. That being said, those are, and I say that is a short-term, quick jump start to weight loss. That is for athletes who are getting ready for weight class oriented competition. That is for individuals who want to get into that little wedding dress or that little teeny tiny bikini to go on spring break, or just to jumpstart weight loss and to see some progress and keep the ball rolling into the future. That's where our Living Lean program comes in. Living Lean program is a 12-week program at thedolcediet.com. Some people, Russell Harding in here is down 40 pounds in 12 weeks. He's just one of our members, and we have thousands and thousands of great members. But that becomes a lifestyle approach. And the goal is to continue the recomposition, my friends, right? It's a Trojan horse. I'm going to tell you right now, cat's out of the bag. All of our programs are a Trojan horse. I am tricking you into living a better life by teaching you how to live your best life, how to feed yourself, how to fuel yourself, how to easily and simply and inexpensively prepare the most delicious micro and phytonutrient dense foods at the proper macronutrient ratio and the total caloric load to ensure you have all the energy you need. Your cells are literally thriving and replicating at optimal rates while facilitating the building of new, healthy, lean, functional, sexy muscle tissue and the reduction of total body fat, subcutaneous and visceral, with the added benefit of reduction of total body water. Many of you are walking around right now probably with 3 to 10% of edema of total body water, which is deadly. Literally, it's deadly. Inflammation is deadly, my friends. Many of you walk around completely inflamed. Much of that happens in the digestive system. The microbiome is a keyword you hear them say, which is very true. That is connected in many ways to our stomach. That is connected in many ways to our level of stress. That is connected in many ways to our sleep. That is connected in many ways, of course, to the food that we eat. And this is the big issue. I see we have here Knock. This is amazing. Knock just gave us a $1,000 super chat donation. Knock, you are absolutely amazing. We appreciate that. Knock says, and I'm going to jump in and answer this question, of course. Knock says, I'm trying to get more lean. I've gotten into a habit of fasting every day, and I eat all my calories right before bedtime. I train first thing in the morning, fasted, and then I don't eat again until nighttime. I can't sleep when hungry. How can I get out of this cycle? Knock, thank you again for the generous donation. I appreciate that. And I'm going to give you many times that $1,000 donation in value back to you. We're going to fix you right now, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hang out here. All right. So Knock is trying to lose weight. Knock is trying to get ripped. Knock is trying to look better and feel better and live better. But Knock has tried and is currently following a fasting protocol in which Knock, I cannot assume if you are male or female out of respect. So Knock is trying to fast, which is simply eating one massive meal right before Knock goes to bed. Now, Knock has a problem, cannot fall asleep if Knock is hungry. And I keep saying Knock so I don't say he or she, because again, I don't want to assume. But now, this is an issue in a few different reasons. And Knock, I'm speaking directly to you right now with all of our friends here hanging out and listening. So with this, here's a problem. I'll use me as an example first. I weigh about 212 pounds. I consume approximately 3,200 calories per day of healthful whole foods. If I were to sit down and try and consume 3,200 calories of healthful whole foods, that is a ton. That will literally take up my entire kitchen table. I usually have 2 plates of foods 4 to 6 times per day. I would have to eat all of that at one given time. That is impossible for me to eat, and I love to eat. I would gas out. My jaw would get tired. I would get so full and so filled up trying to consume that amount of food. So what happens? I would fail in my digestive process. We have 3 different types of digestion. Classically, there's 2, and stay with me, everyone. We have what's known as mechanical digestion, the act of chewing our food, grinding our food. This is a part of the digestive process. So we chew our food, that's mechanical digestion. I actually call external digestion. External digestion is taking a piece of steak and putting it into a grinder, grinding it down, scrambling your eggs, whipping your potatoes. This is external digestion. And I suggest many of our clients externally digest their food before mechanical digestion, and then propulsion, which is simply the food being propelled down the esophagus into the stomach, where chemical digestion then begins. When we're consuming this massive amount of raw bulk matter, what happens? There becomes a serious backlog and dysfunction ensues. Also, I spoke 7 minutes ago about the microbiome and inflammation. This creates a competitive inflammatory environment in the stomach, but also in the small intestine. The small intestine, my friends, is where all the magic happens. This is where absorption actually begins. Now, the raw bulk matter, let's say my iPhone right here, let's say this is a piece of steak. And now I'm going to take the steak, I'm going to put it into the grinder, and I'm going to turn it into ground beef, burgers. Then I'm going to take the burger, I'm going to eat the burger, I'm going to chew on it, chew on it, chew on it, chew on it. I'm going to propel it down into the stomach, and then chemical digestion, all the bubbly, like picture like a witch's cauldron, essentially. Chemical digestion is going to further break this phone down into smaller and smaller pieces. It will then enter the small intestine. In the small intestine, this phone must be broken down into an atomic particle. It must be broken down into one of the smallest measurable units. Think about that. Right? So this phone right here has to be broken down to the point that it can almost not be seen with the human eye. Okay? Now, what if I drop 1 of these phones, 2 of these phones, 3 of these phones, 4 of these phones down? Then I eat my iPad, and then I eat my briefcase on top of that. Just that's raw bulk matter. I'm using this as a great illustrative analogy here, not for you to hang with me, because I'm going to continue on with your situation here. What happens when we're eating this 1 meal a day concept, this big, massive meal? It's nearly impossible for our body to absorb this food efficiently. Therefore, we build a deficiency, a nutrient deficiency, a micronutrient deficiency for sure, also a macronutrient deficiency. Much of the food that you are eating will not be effectively absorbed and then partitioned, which is basically sent to where it needs to go to help assist and carry on the biological, physiological process that we humans need. Much of that food will then be sent over to simply be stored as fat, or just simply eliminated, pushed out until you move on to the next day. This is one of my biggest issues with the fasting culture. Now, eating a smaller window, that's fine relative to the individual's total caloric need. That's fine. That's like I said, our clients typically between 10 and 13 hours is their feeding window. So let's get back to you. Let's say we're the same size. Let's say you consume, let's say 300 calories per, or 3,000 calories per day. You're about 200 pounds. You train pretty hard. Sounds like you're a diligent individual. Let's say you consume 3,000 calories per day. What my strong suggestion, and that of our team of registered dietitians, some of the most amazing brains on the planet here working for the team, which is awesome. What we see academically with supportive evidence, peer-reviewed supportive evidence, but also, and most importantly, my friends, is the anecdotal application of these protocols amongst a vast segment of the human population. Our team works with thousands tens of thousands of humans, depending on how you want to aggregate the individual and segment them, from our online program to our one-on-one personalized 8-week My Diet programs, our list of elite athletes and private VIP clienteles, one-on-one consultations, going back over 20 years as this company, but each of us have individual experience that increases this number. I only say that so you understand we have a lot of experience. Now, what we find to be best for most by far, is breaking this up. So Knock, again, you and Sec, I see the $100 super chat donation, Sec. Very cool. I'll jump to your question in a moment. Knock. Now, I would take that 3,000 calories if I'm you, and I'm going to break that down into 4 to 6 feedings per day. Let's say we break it into 6 smaller feedings of 500 total calories. 500 total calories. I eat between 400 to 600 calories approximate per meal, spaced evenly throughout the day. I'm never hungry. I'm never full. I always feel good. I never feel like I just ate. I'm always satiated and I like bloated. I never have to unbutton my top button. I always feel like I can get up and run out the door and go on a 10-mile run. If somebody shows up and says, hey, you want to train? Yeah, let's go. If The Rock walked in and says, Dolce, I just built Iron Paradise outside, let's go squat, I'm in. I just ate and I could jump in right now and do that. This is winning. I am fully fed. I'm fully satiated. I'm fully fueled. My body now, my digestive system, back to the microbiome, back to the digestive process. The food I'm consuming can be adequately digested and then absorbed and partitioned in a manner that makes it very effortless for the body to do. I can handle this amount of food. So then what happens? This food now, broken down into its most pure elemental material, is then sent to where it most effectively needs to go. The facilitation of healthy, lean, functional muscle tissue. And it does not now spill over into reserve energy stores, which is being stored as body fat. My digestive process, bowel movement, elimination is dramatically improved. Cognitive function, cardiorespiratory, all the fun stuff of just being a human is improved. So now you say, how can you get out of this cycle? Because this is important here. I understand you're busting your tail. You want to make it happen. You want to get it done. How do you get out of this cycle? You train first thing in the morning, fasted. I like that. What my suggestion will be for you, Knock, is you're training fasted first thing in the morning. I don't know how you're training. I hope you're still here and I hope you're still listening. But if you're training fasted first thing in the morning, I prefer my first training to be at a lower intensity. Why is it at a lower intensity? I train at a lower intensity because I am truly fasted. And truly fasted means that there is no circulating insulin. Without that insulin, my fat cells, my alpha and beta receptors in the fat cell are much more efficiently functioning. This allows them to then release more of that stored fat, stored energy, right? Because fat is just simply stored energy. My fat cells, our fat cells, the vast majority of us, will actually be more efficient at releasing this stored fat in a fasted state when training at low intensities. At low intensities, we will more preferentially utilize stored fat instead of switching over and using stored glycogen expressed as glucose, which is the primary fuel source, right? We don't want to use the glycogen yet. We want to save the stored glycogen for slightly later on that day, when we can then go crazy in the gym. We can do the squats and the jumps and the presses and the pushes and the pulls. We can hammer all that hard training. So after that low intensity training session, Knock, I'm then going to have my first meal. Now, if I'm you, I'm going to ease into it because I don't know what your appetite is. I don't know what your stomach is. I don't know your background, your health history. So I do have to, in fairness, speak in general terms. But in general, if I'm working with a client just like you, we're going to work with them to find healthful whole foods that can be easily ingested, digested, and absorbed post-workout. And then 2 to 3 hours later, we're going to eat again. And 2 to 3 hours later, we're going to eat again. We're going to eat small amounts of food. We're slowly going to scale. We're going to target that food ingestion around our workouts, ensuring that the food we are consuming will be going back to the food that we just consumed, right? So we're now replenishing, repairing, and this is very important. This is what, when we speak about the DOLCE diet, and this confuses a lot of people, and we get criticized by people who don't understand, I believe. Rule number one, our number one principle is to eat healthful, whole foods in wide variety. Number one, why is that? Because we now get the highest net nutrients per calorie than any other food type on the planet. We are ensuring maximal nutrient density. Number two is we eat every 2 to 4 hours based upon activity. What did I just do? What do I need to replenish? What am I about to do? How do I need to pre-fuel for this next bout of activity? With this in mind, now we can very easily selectively choose our food sources. Start small. I understand. We work with a lot of people who come off of these different restrictive, I don't want to be overly critical of my terminology. We work with people who come off these restrictive food plans, and we don't want to force them into any system. We want them to build their own. I want you to build your own using these principles. The principles that we have also are very well founded. They're of the most evidence-based of any system that we know of. And it's not so much that we created them. We just point you towards what's already known in there. It's like we're not trying to recreate gravity, the laws of gravity. We're simply explaining gravity to you. That's the way we see our principles. Okay. So with that being said, it makes it very easy to then create your own meal plan. Easy, small, simple, healthful, whole foods in wide varieties, fresh, natural, local, in season. Highest net nutrient capacity per total calorie, which allows you to now eat fewer total calories per day and get maximum nutrition. That just makes sense. We eat every 2 to 4 hours based upon activity. What did I just do? What am I about to do? But I personally would want to see you eating more often. I would want you to eat before you go to bed. I eat before I go to bed. Absolutely, I do. I can't go to sleep just like you until I have a good meal, until I have a nice snack. Depends on what what my goal is, depends on what I did that day, depends on what I'm going to be doing in the morning. My two favorite snacks, baked apples with almond butter. Oh my goodness, it's incredible. Or I'll make like a 1 egg, 4 white veggie omelet. I'll have that before I go to bed. Phenomenal. Those are my two go-tos, like within 30 minutes of going upstairs to fall asleep. I have some good food sitting in my stomach. I am awesome. You also last thing, I would go and get a comprehensive blood panel done. I'd take a look at your insulin sensitivity. I'd be curious to see if your inability to sleep at night has something to do with fluctuating insulin levels. This is something that's very common. We see it quite often. It's nothing to be aware or nothing to be worried about, but it's something to be aware of because through nutrition, we can then manage that. Right? That becomes a heck of a lot easier. I hope this was helpful. Everyone here who's hung out with us and listening, I hope this was helpful to you guys also to hear this, to really take this. And again, thank you for the amazing donation. That's excellent. I'd more than, if you want to shoot me a DM, if you have any questions on Instagram, if you want to contact our support team, I'd be happy to set up a consultation with you very simply and walk you through any more specific information if you have it. Again, thank you for that. And ask any other questions if you have them. Gronus with the $100 super chat donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Very, very cool of you. You guys are awesome. Much appreciated. Gronus says, finally catch one live. Good to be among peers. Well, Gronus, thank you. Not even a question there. Just a kind comment and a generous donation to the channel. You guys are awesome. Brian Henley, also the shout out with the $4.99 super chat donation. Bang. Brian Henley, who says, F you, Dolce, listening at work, staging Amazon packages. You're the god of the diet, Brian. You are awesome. I'm super proud of all your hard work. Awesome. Also, let's see. Let me jump back in here and answer some more questions. I really appreciate this. I love the ability to, I love this stuff. Sitting here hanging out with you guys, being able to, chop it up about all this stuff, this different stuff. California says, Dolce, it sounds good on my end. Right on. Clint Colleen says, if fat loss is my main goal, I work out first thing in the morning, some days list, some days strength training. Should I do my strength training fasted? Maybe some whey mid workout, like a whey isolate? Yes. I really do suggest your resistance training a little later in the day, simply because you will perform better. You can have a good fasted workout. You can have a fasted PR. Your fasted PR early in the morning will never be as good as your fed PR slightly later in the day. So the way we look at it is, if I can press 100 pounds for 10 reps fasted, and I can press 101 pounds for 11 reps fed, why would I train fasted? Why would I? Because it's the activation of muscle protein synthesis. It's the stimulation of enhanced muscular growth and strength and size and performance and neuromuscular priming. Why would I not have my best training where we can get that low intensity cardio done earlier in the day and burn even more fat, in our opinion and our experience? And I do believe we proved that. Alexa, what's up, Alexa? F you. Paul says, dropped 8 pounds in 2 weeks, been training for 8 years, but been focusing more on functional training and walking. Your thoughts, Mike? Dropped 8 pounds in 2 weeks, been training for 8 years, but been focusing more on functional trainings and walking. Your thoughts? I think it sounds great. 8 pounds in 2 weeks. You're killing it. Keep going. Keep going, my friend. Absolutely crushing it. Jeremy Trulio says, good timing on this video. Just purchased and reading the 3 Weeks to Shredded book. Jeremy, welcome to the team, my friend. Whatever I can do to help you, I am here to support you and walk the journey with you. Keep it up and let me know how it goes. Trevor Hackett says, what do you think of the Silva Hall fight? It went the way I thought it would go. Uriah is amazing. Uriah is a friend of mine. Oh, wife's calling. You know the rules when the wife calls. Hello, wife. I am doing a YouTube live Q&A. Can I call you back after? Shoot. 45 minutes. Okay, bye. What's the rule, my friends? When your significant other, when those close to you, when your family calls, you answer the phone and just simply have that 15-second conversation. The amazing people that you were in the middle of talking with will understand. They will not get mad. Do not look at the phone and simply put it in your pocket and pretend like that person did not call you. That is my strong suggestion to you. That is Uncle Mike's pro tip. If nothing else, take that tip home with you today. Jesse Lee, coach, always gain a ton of applicable knowledge during our consultations about to get this win and start knocking this business out the park. BMT, Jesse Lee, super proud of you, Jesse Lee. Jesse Lee is one of our Dolce Diet certified coaches. Jesse is crushing it. Jesse is a mixed martial artist. He has a fight coming up. He's a father. He's a husband. He's a renaissance man. So many amazing things he does. We're proud of you, Jesse. Trevor Hackett says, boring later. You'll be back, Trevor. You know we drop the best knowledge on YouTube. Sam C, going to catch up on this tomorrow. I'm sure they're out there, but I have never seen someone that speaks so passionately, honestly, and lives the life they preach as much as you, Mike. It's amazing. Sam, man, that means a lot. I appreciate those kind words. I certainly I do my best, and I think you guys can tell, right? Because we're here, we're live. You hear me, you see me, you can tell. I mean, we all have that sniff test. So I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. You made my day liking a post of mine today. Oh, now just a follow, haha. 1 for 1 Monday. Sam, you got it, my man. You got it, my man. I didn't even realize that. Jamie says, Mike, at what age would you let your daughters drink coffee? That's actually a great question. And I think I will I don't have any arbitrary age set up yet. I think their level of health, their level of fitness, their level of maturity, their palate will matter. Of course, I wouldn't let them drink as much as I do, considering my relative body size and experience. I won't let them drink it probably in single digit years. I'm pretty sure. But being this is the first time I ever had a 5-year-old daughter. I ever had a 3-year-old. Well, I got a 5 and a 3-year-old. So as they age and grow, I will age and grow, hopefully in wisdom with them. Hopefully it will be more towards the high school years. But that being said, I don't have an exact answer as of yet. But once I do, I will definitely let you guys know. And now you actually just got me really thinking about that. So I might actually, I might ask the team to do a little bit of research, best practices on that. So great question, Jamie. Nick L says, boom, thumbs up. Oh, I appreciate that. Guys and gals, everyone listening, bang, bang. If you could give this video a quick thumbs up, I appreciate that. Lets me know you are out there. Lets me know you actually care about this content. And hopefully our YouTube overlords will share this information with very cool people just like you. That would be awesome. Alfred says, what about if we take steroids out of the equation? Well, I think I mentioned this earlier, so this comment's probably a little late. Taking anabolic agents, steroids, growth hormone, and all these other things. There's so many things out there. It's hard to keep up with anymore. There's peptides, there's SARMs, there's SERMs, and I'm sure there's a few other things I don't even know about. Absolutely, there are. That changes your results, but it doesn't change the validity of what we speak. And oftentimes your results will be much shorter lived, and you will kind of be middling. You will be on that rabbit wheel. If you know people who do take steroids, oh, that one I can't get right now. You will see people go through the rabbit wheel. Actually, let me answer that real quick. Mirsad, what's up, brother? I'm good. I'm doing a YouTube live. Can I call you back after? No, no worries. I figured I thought about you earlier this morning, but you want to talk tomorrow? Sounds good, brother. Have a great night. Bye. Easy. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for being so patient with me here. Busy. Everyone's blowing up the phone. 5 p.m. on a Friday. Everyone wants to talk, right? So what else do we say? So about taking the steroids, what that does, it builds an artificial bridge to short-term success. Without a doubt. Now, if I'm like very libertarian on personal drug use and a lot of other things in the world, right? I have different thoughts and opinions on all things, just like you do. But if someone, if they're relatively healthy, they're working with a doctor, hopefully they're getting their blood work done. The doc knows what they're doing. They're getting monitored, and they want to try and become the next Mr. Olympia. I'm friends with some of those guys on the stage, right? I'm not, you know. It's funny because I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I really don't want them to do it. But it's not my business. I can't tell them, right? So if that's what you choose to do, I'm going to try and dissuade you not to. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Why don't you take some extra time and really focus on the stuff that we're talking about here? Let's see if we can take 6 months and put on 20 pounds of healthy, functional, lean muscle tissue. Let's see what we can do. Let's really get focused and see what we can do, instead of just jumping the bridge. Now, depending on age, anyone under 25 years old should never, ever, ever consider this. Guys, gals, whatever. Gals, very, 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 very dangerous. Guys, like anyone under 25 shouldn't even consider it. If you don't have a minimum of 5 years of lifting experience, you should never even consider it, right? But that being said, people will do what they do. And I can only give the most honest information, the most honest man on YouTube right now, right? Fitness wise, I mean, all topics actually. But that being said, it's like, why would you put yourself in harm's way for what? Because you can get lean and strong and jacked and shredded and just be your best self without taking that. Why would you jump over all the long-term success and benefits of leading a healthy lifestyle to counteract that, build that bridge, and then be so dependent upon that for the rest of your life? Like, that's, again, and I have this conversation with my buddies, and that some of them, some of them are making some cash, right? Some of them are, making, 6-figure pluses. The vast majority of them, the vast majority of people, like, if I actually had to come up with a list, I'd probably say less than 3% of those who I know who actually can take these, agents just erode their health and have no net benefit in their life at all. And probably wish, they may not say it, probably wish they never did it. I will say that. Breek the Freak says, thank you, brother Mike. You got it, Breek. Sky Burr. If I drink the rehydration drink you outlined in the previous video first thing in the morning, will I still get the benefits of fasted list, or will the lime, coconut water, and honey ruin it? I would just simply do the water and maybe the salt. I don't know why you would. Well, it's not it's a great drink, right? It's a great drink. So, I'm not mad at that. But if you're trying to perform lists, as it's classically designed, fasted lists, where we're really trying to control insulin, I would avoid that and I would rehydrate with that afterwards. That would be what I would personally do. Sage says, damn, that got me. Bleep. Prophet says, F you, Dolce. F you, Prophet. Kendra Dragon with the smiley faces. Jesse Lee, after my Dolce step method to make weight, how many gallons of the rehydration drink should I drink post weigh-in? It would really be based upon your relative intake prior. So let's say on Wednesday, well, what was your relative intake the week before? Let's say if you're normally drinking 4 liters per day and you build up to 7 liters on the Wednesday before, you drink 3.5 liters on the Thursday before, you weigh in on Friday, you probably would be closer to that 7 liters because you're now replenishing, and your body, you're going to be urinating a lot. You're going to have really good solid bowel movements. You're filling everything back out. Fight day, you're likely going to be closer to your baseline as long as all of your electrolytes are still in place and you're healthy. Zach C says, opinion on the cereal ingredients: pea protein, potato fiber, non-GMO corn fiber, chicory fiber, acacia fiber, guar gum, turmeric, tapioca, organic, high oleic, sunflower oil, avocado oil, baking powder. Those sounds like a very, vegan, healthy-ish vegan cereal. I would eat that. I wouldn't probably eat that every day, but I wouldn't be worried about eating that manifesting some sort of disease. I would eat that before I ate, all the delicious ones. Fruity Pebbles, how amazing is Fruity Pebbles, by the way, or Cookie Crisp, or Cinnamon Toast Crunch, some that I can remember. I would not eat those. I would eat this instead for sure. Catalina Crunch cereal. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of that, Zach C, and bam. I'll check that out. I might have some myself. Alexi says, wow, Daniel Cheese. Oh, Jesus, unreal. Right on, right on. Zach C, damn son, home dog just dropped a 110 super chat. I think that's 1,000 Norwegian coronas. That's fine either way. Daniel says, F you, Dolce. Solomon King says 1,000 baller. Mail. Skoy. Knock. So Skoy mail. Hello, sir. There we go. I figured, but you never know this day and age, and I certainly don't want to offend anyone. But Skoy boy, I hope you're still there, my friend. I really appreciate you. Anything I can do to help you, I'm here. Mike Benavides. This is a nice donation. Love the support. Paul K. This morning, my 4 and 2-year-old had the breakfast bowl for breakfast. In my household, it's known as more oatmeal, please, because my kids don't want to eat. They have 1 spoonful and say, more, please, oatmeal. More, please, oatmeal. I love that. That's awesome. More, please, oatmeal. Mr. Russ in the house. What's up, Mr. Russ? Good to see you, my brother. Hope all is well. Zach C says, since you are obviously loaded, I suggest eating 4 to 6 meals a day and buying a whoa, I will pause that. I will bleep myself right there. David, hello. The Jorge MC, is fasting bad? What about cardio without eating anything? Sorry for my bad English. No, your English is great, Jorge. Welcome. No, fasting isn't bad. Remember, we fast when we sleep. Prolonged fasts typically create dysfunction and disorder in time, right? Now, 1 meal per day, that creates a problem. 3 meals during a fasting window, now it's a lot better because it's really about digestive efficiency and nutrient absorption. That's what we're trying to get to. So I dislike much of the conflated fasting material that is parroted through pop culture. Now, if I'm only eating it over 10 hours, let's say, what would that be? So 8 a.m. I have my breakfast, and 6 p.m. I eat my last meal. That feels like a fast, right? If I wake up at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., I get my cardio in, right? I wake up, I do my thing, I get my fasted listen, I shower, I change, I write my goals down for the day. I have my breakfast bowl at 8 a.m. and I go through the day. So I have 8 a.m., 12, let's say 8, 11, 2, 5, and I'm done eating dinner by 6. Man, that's a pretty solid fasted window. I'm going to be pretty dang hungry come 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to feel that. I've lived that before. I'm going to feel that, which is why we do put in an extra light meal later on that day. But some people it can work for. Some people don't have the same output as I do, and I understand that. I push a pretty hard pace. I train twice per day. I'm chasing 2 little babies around the house, right? I mean, I got a lot of stuff to do. If someone doesn't have the same expenditure, which is written into principle number 2, we eat based upon activity. Your activity might not be at the same level that mine is. That's awesome. So you don't have to eat to the same caloric load that I do. You might not need the same amount of total net nutrients that I do also, because you're not breaking down as much tissue as I am and pushing yourself. So I don't believe really in arbitrary times and numbers with regards to nutrient ingestion. Paul K, Coach, what protocol would you suggest if I want to get some psyllium husk in my diet? I would mix it into my oats in the morning. Many of our clients do, and I would have some before I went to bed at night, mixed in water. It's great. Alexi, no one talks about nutrient absorption. They just say it speeds up metabolism, and this makes so much sense to be ingesting 4 to 6 times a day. Thank you. Alexi, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Gunny says 115 kilograms to 73 kilograms, and I'm ripped, no loose skin. I just eat 1 small meal a day, no pasta, rice, bread, sugar, and that's it. And I'm 50. Good for you, Gunny. Happy to hear. Sonny says, had a great workout last night thanks to Dolce's video yesterday. Boom! That's what we're talking about, Sonia. Good to see you, my friend. Right on, right on. Scoy Boy, thank you. I'm going to follow everything. If I only have time to train early in the morning, how do I get my heavy training in? I would then, me personally, Scoy Boy, what I would do is I would start with a cold processed beet juice. I would wake up. I might dilute that in water. I'd wake up. I'd have my 8 to 16 ounces of room temperature water, and then I would start sipping on the beet juice to get that glucose in your bloodstream, right? That's going to be the energy. If you have to train with resistance on those resistance days, I want to get that glucose in my bloodstream as fast as possible, but from a healthy source. I'm not going to eat pixie sticks and gummy bears and Sour Patch Kids like a lot of the YouTube fitness bros are telling you guys to do. I'm going to continue eating high net nutrient foods. Cold processed juice works extremely well. A lot of our elite athletes, that's exactly what they do, because sometimes their coaches, their skills coaches, they mandate that they have these hard trainings first thing in the morning. I don't always agree, but it is what it is, and that's fine. And some people have really busy lives and jobs and careers, and I get that. So that's what I would do first. Scoy Boy, you got it. Stevie M, you got it, Stevie M. Thank you for the $5 super chat donation. Nadir says, I am fat, coach. Well, Nadir, today's your lucky day. Go watch part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5 of my most recent video series. You will love it. Rozzy, what's up, Rozzy? Paul says, Dolce answered my question. You are the man, best content. Paul, I appreciate you for being here, my friend. Thank you. Mission Fit Nation, join us. All right. Little gratuitous plug there from Pakistan. Good to see you guys. Zach C, fasted running 5 miles followed by lists for fat loss. Fasted running 5 miles followed by lists for fat loss. Brother, you're crushing. That's a hard pace. What are your thoughts on creatine? I'm a fan of creatine. I take 5 grams of creatine per day. Almost every day. I probably will. I don't see any reason to not take creatine anymore. I actually suggest creatine be considered. See what I did there? Be considered for most people to include into their healthy diet. Wally V says, hey, Dolce, is there a significant difference between doing fasted lists versus fed lists? There is. The difference is at the biochemical level. We are looking to increase fat loss through the efficient interplay of the alpha and beta receptors. These two work together to actually release that stored energy known as fat. In the absence of insulin, the alpha and beta receptor are more efficient. That's why fasted lists works better for total body fat loss with specificity to gender specific stubborn fat, which by the exact term, stubborn fat is more stubborn at releasing that stored fat. What does this mean? Look at your body. Every person has that trouble area. Maybe it's the muffin top. Maybe it's the saddlebags. Maybe it's the dangly tricep. Maybe it's the fat nip. Maybe it's the little donut under the belly button above the panty line, whatever. Some of us have multiple trouble areas. Those trouble areas have a certain biochemical deficiency that can be improved through low intensity cardio in the absence of insulin, right? All the science supports this. This is something that's very well known. This is why we urge our athletes and clients to perform fasted lists first thing in the morning, low intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity while fasted, and then later in the day, perform higher intensity training. Many of the noobs in the YouTube fitness world will argue that fasted or fed doesn't matter, calories in, calories out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about biochemistry. We're not just talking about math, okay? The human body doesn't work based upon math. It's biology, it's biochemistry. We understand that, we work with that, we work with the body. That's why it matters, because we will train at higher intensities with resistance later in the day. So now we have a well-rounded program. You like the people who only do their stupid high intensity training, that's great. I do that. But if that's all you do, you're now creating an aerobic deficit, right? You're creating a disconnect of efficient biochemistry. Humans were designed to walk really, really, really far distances, really, really, really slow. That is our natural state in many ways. We are a nomadic species. Go back and research anthropology and history and whatever field you might be into. You will see that this is just who we are. This is embedded into us. We're very good at that. Look at the other land animals out there. They will outrun us, trample us, claw us, eat us in a heartbeat, right? We're not very fast. We're not very strong. We happen to have thumbs and we're pretty smart, and we can figure out when the buffalo move, we got to move with it, right? When the volcano is going to erupt, we got to pack up everything and we got to move hundreds of miles away, slow and plodding, right? So that's just kind of one little piece to this overall conversation. Or Rip Kobe, true that. Wah. Nick L, second one-on-one next week. Can't wait. I can't wait. Also, those one-on-one consultations, my friends, if you wanted to do a one-on-one private personal consultation with me, simply go to dolcedietshop.com and reserve your spot. I dropped my prices during the pandemic, over 70% discounted, which is freaking awesome. And I've kept them there. All the prices have gone back up in our company to 100%. Some prices up even more based upon demand. We simply can't work with that many people. I, though, have made myself continuously available to work with you. You actually can get logged in, get subscribed, not subscribed, but get set up, and then you'll get my calendar. You can just choose whatever time is best for you, and we go from there. So I love it. Nick L is coming back for our second one-on-one. Nick, I'm pumped up, brother. I want to hear how you're doing, man, and let's keep this going. Let's keep that ball rolling. Ryan's Strength says, Mike, what are your thoughts on supplementing with collagen peptides? I've heard it may be beneficial for tendons and joints. I like it. I'm a fan of collagen peptides. Absolutely. I have them in my own house. My wife takes them more than I do, and she does think that there's a benefit for her skin, for her hair. I take it when I remember. I do take the whey isolate a little more often, although I do drink bone broth quite often. So Black Light says, if I'm training HIIT every other day and light training in the in-between days, and I am trying to lose fat but not worried about gaining muscle, when are good times to be eating? It's hard to understand that question. I'm sorry, Black Light. But again, every 2 to 4 hours based upon activity. That's the ideal way. And depending on the intensity, if I'm going to be training it very intensely, I'm going to be eating about 2 hours before that workout, right? I don't want to have a lot of food in my stomach at high intensity training sessions. Post workout, I'm trying to eat almost immediately, but it's 2 to 4 hours in between feedings. That's what we're talking about. Anthony Cruz says, oh, snap, you got $1 million. Anthony Cruz, sub coach, still sick. Got a light session in today. Sorry. Got a light session in today and felt amazing. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Skoy Boy, what's up? Skoy Boy is back. Hello, sir, with a $500 super chat donation. You are awesome. I do appreciate it. Let's see if I can live up to this and over deliver on value. I am ready to go here. If only I have time to train once a day early in the morning for about 1.5 hours. Should I then forget about the fasted list and eat breakfast and train heavy weights instead? My aim is to get slightly leaner and gain slightly more muscle. Great question. And I have a great answer. My job is to over deliver on value. I'm going to get you super lean, super shredded, and super yoked, super jacked, and feeling absolutely amazing. We're going to make this easy. So you have 1.5 hours. That is 90 minutes. I love it. What you will do, in my opinion, what would be best for you, I should say, is you wake up, you drink 16 ounces of room temperature water. I would spike that personally with just a small pinch of salt. If possible, I take a little sip of espresso, and then I would start to sip on some beet juice. Maybe I'd try and leave 10 to 15 minutes between the espresso and the beet juice. I'd start to sip on that beet juice as I'm getting to the gym, walking into the gym to train. I would be very targeted with my training. I would train for no more than 45 minutes, warm up to cool down complete. Okay. Be very specific, very targeted with your training. I would write everything down, every exercise, every set, every rep, every weight used, and also how I felt. Every single time you walk in the Skoy Boy, you get better. You get better. You add weight, you add reps, you reduce time, or you improve form. Every single time you get better, but take that hour and a half workout, condense it to 45 minutes, because what you're then going to do is you're going to get done your 45 minutes of high intensity resistance training, what we call HIIT. You're then going to go and perform 20 to 40 minutes of lists. Take a few minutes in between. That's fine. Take 5 minutes, rehydrate, a little bit more salted water, slight little pinch. And then I'm going to get on the treadmill, the cycle, the rower, the stepper, the elliptical. I love the elliptical and strongly recommend it to most. Elliptical or walking is ideal for this. And then you're going to go and walk at a low intensity, because now you will be performing a variation of fasted lists, so you can actually get your list in because you purged a large amount of stored glycogen during your high intensity resistance training. The goal is to try and purge every glycogen molecule possible. That's the goal. Train so dang hard, so dang perfect. In that 45 minutes, you are just purging all the stored glycogen in those muscles. And then You will be near glycogen depleted when you step on that treadmill, performing now fasted lifts at low intensity. I don't want my heart rate to be much higher than 110 beats per minute. I like to keep mine right between 1 and 110 for lifts. If you looked at my Instagram earlier today, you would see me performing 2-minute up downs, is what I call them, intervals. So I did a 40-minute up down interval, 2 minutes of hill sprints, 2 minutes of recovery, and I got my heart rate up to 188 beats per minute. That's actually not bad for a guy over 40 years old. I'd like to see some other people try that consistently, but not you, Skoy Boy, not you, Knock. With that being said, 45 minutes of HRT training, high intensity resistance training. And I'd probably start with 10 minutes for scalability, 10 minutes of list cardio, and slowly increase it based upon how lean you want to get. I wouldn't start at 30 or 45 minutes. I'd start at 10 to 20 minutes of that low intensity cardiovascular activity, steady state cardiovascular activity post-workout, and then scale it. Every week or so, maybe you add 5 minutes, depending on how lean you want to get, because you will get lean. You will lean out. You will lean out rather dramatically with this new type of format. In my opinion, we don't need to be in the gym training with resistance more than 45 minutes. If we are applying our full intensity and our full effort, if we are actually keeping track of the data and we're measuring the outcomes, there is no reason in my mind to be in the gym that long, because how long can you torture your body without breaking it? Or how long can you torture your body if you're performing at the optimal level? It's near impossible in my mind to train at a very high intensity with the proper weight, proper load, proper volume for more than, 45 minutes is warm up to cool down. So we're only looking at like 20 to 30 minutes of high intensity targeted training, like fucking getting after it, right? 30 minutes max here in the gym of that strength training. So Skoy Boy, I think that will be ideal. That's what I would, if I could only train in the morning, and I've spoken on this before, that's exactly what I would do. I'd get that beet juice in. Ooh, it's so delicious. Cold beet juice. So delicious. I'm thinking back to some workouts I've had, and it's like immediately, it's like my brain is just firing. That little bit of caffeine, that glucose gets in the bloodstream. It's like, ooh, you're ready to freaking go, ready to get after it. And then you're just targeted. Bang, you know everything you need to do. You're just ready to get in, get after it. You know what your goal is. You know what weight's on the bar. Form is always key. Everyone listening, form is always key. Technical breakdown, that's where we stop. We don't stop at total muscular failure. We only stop at technical. Always stop at technical breakdown. Skoy Boy, my friend, I hope that is helpful to you. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Todd Shaw, I watch the numbers too much, and when I'm trying to lose weight, I don't like creatine because I gained 10 pounds. I see that on weight on the scale and hate it. I understand that, but take photos. Don't step on the scale anymore. Take photos of yourself every Monday and Friday. Take a photo of yourself and then compare them, but exactly wear the exact same shorts, standing in the exact same spot, like literally, like put a little piece of tape on the tile on the floor in front of the mirror. Hold the phone at the exact same place. Like the exact same place. I tell people to either hold it like directly in front of your face, so your thumb is in front of your nose, or hold it exactly on the side of your face. Either way, same side, same spot, same point, same lighting, same everything. So it's a direct comparison over and over and over and over. Don't worry about the scale, because if you gained a pound of muscle, and which is what happens with creatine, it's a cell volumizer. You gain a pound of muscle and you lose a pound of fat, the scale doesn't change, but you just actually recompositioned your body by 2 pounds. Boom. Like, right? That makes sense. Daniel says, how much protein should I consume if I have relatively high body fat? That doesn't matter. The amount of protein you consume is relative to your expenditure and current level of lean muscle mass. Protein isn't feeding body fat, though protein surplus could. I would suggest somebody in that situation probably start consuming around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of relative muscle mass. So that means if you're, let's say you're 300 pounds at 33% body fat, you have about 200 pounds of relatively lean body mass and about 100 pounds of body fat. So I'm probably going to take about 160 grams of protein per day to feed the 200 pounds of relatively lean body mass. and then urge the extra body weight to non-functional weight to just shrink away. GB says, what heart rate percentage do you recommend for lists? Well, I don't recommend a percentage per se. We recommend I think I'm misinterpreting that, or I'm speaking incorrectly. We like to keep our heart rate somewhere around double of our resting heart rate. Usually that means below 110 beats per minute. My heart rate actually gets down now between 48 and 52. I'm now at 48 more often than I'm above 50, which is pretty cool. But I'm looking to double what my resting heart rate is. Grown is 0 F's given about calories since 2010 and still got the 8-pack when acting responsible. Amen. And have shitty guy fat genes. Me too. Blacklight, not. No, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Blacklight, you got. I'm glad I could answer that for you, my friend. Mr. Russ, day before weigh-in, when you drink the water by noon, do you drink anything else after? Like a little bit of black coffee or espresso is very helpful in that situation. Otherwise, I'll sip a little water. I mean, sip a little water if you need a drink. Don't like kill yourself, right? But I always say, what you consume, you're probably going to have to sweat off again if you have a targeted weight in mind. But if you're sipping on espresso, you'll likely lose the same or more water weight simply because espresso caffeine has a dehydrating effect. But be careful, bro. Don't go overboard with it. And try and always have someone around, right? Don't get silly. Don't stand up too fast. I always tell all the athletes, hey, take your time. If you're going to stand up, always have a handhold on something. If you feel a little woozy, my friends, if you're ever cutting weight and feel a little woozy, immediately take a knee. I don't care where you are. Immediately take a knee. That will help you, number one, reclaim your head and feel a little bit better. And number two, if you fall, you're already down on the ground. I've been in that position many, many times. If I ever feel a little woozy, I immediately take a knee. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, nothing. I'll just like pretend like I'm tying my shoe. I'm like, all right, let's go. I feel fine. Any tips to increase bench? Pull your shoulders back and down and focus on the triceps. A lot of people, you either fail off the chest because usually your shoulders are too rounded. So you want to pull them back and down. And then you fail at the top because triceps are too weak. Coach, thanks for all the great info. Scott, you got it. Diego, how do I lose weight and gain muscle? Watch parts 1 through 5 of this video series I just put out last week through this week. Definitely go back and watch this, please. Also, bang, bang, bang. Give this video a thumbs up, my friends. I see you there. I appreciate that. I can see all those thumbs up. If you click that, it makes me feel good, warm and fuzzy inside. So I certainly do greatly appreciate that engagement. It's helpful, allegedly, to the YouTube overlords and sharing this channel with other like-minded individuals. Also, it lets me know that you guys appreciate the content, which certainly does mean a lot to me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. Click that little bell for notification. That is not a gimmick, actually. That is legitimate, where you will actually get notified of these live streams, because I've been on here for an hour and 16 minutes answering every single person's question completely honestly, openly, and for free. I believe I've delivered a heck of a lot of value. Also, to deliver value, I do have, as I'm posting right now, there is a link in there I just posted right now. This is not a gimmick. This is actually giving you 3 free stocks as a promotion from Webull. Webull is an investing app. It is the one that I use, and I absolutely love Webull. If you open an account with Webull, you get 1 free stock. If you open an account with Webull and then deposit $100 to just sit there and then take it back out and put it in your bank account, you can do that. You will get 3 stocks valued between $8 and $1,600. People have actually gotten those high $1,600 stocks. It is certainly worth it. In my opinion, I get like 2 stocks. I think if you guys do it, I think I get 2 stocks maybe. That's just something cool that Webull offered to our audience. I wanted to share with you guys. Feel free to take a look, and if that makes sense to you. Diego says, how do you lose weight and gain muscle? I answered that. Gronus says, is there any chance of a UFC fighters union, or are they fighters too selfish? I think yes to both. Yes, there is a chance, and yes, most fighters are too selfish. Unfortunately, if there was going to be a union, they would have to rally behind the most powerful fighters of the moment. And unfortunately, the most powerful fighters of the moment do not want to put their own careers and paychecks on the line for anyone else, which means a guy like Randy Couture when Randy was still fighting, a guy like Anderson Silva when Anderson was the top, a gal like Ronda Rousey maybe when she was reigning, a guy like Conor McGregor or John Jones right now. George St. Pierre probably would have been the greatest representative in my mind because everyone loves George and respects George, and he is an intelligent businessman, and he has a very powerful marquee name. It takes at least one athlete like that to be the face of the union, where other athletes will then say, hey, if George is doing this, put his name behind it, I'm going to get behind this and I'm going to sign on. That's what it would take. Do I think that will happen? No, I don't think that will happen because it has not happened. Will Rodriguez says, are veggie straws and popcorn an okay snack? Popcorn, yes. Veggie straws, okay. I like popcorn, and we actually make non-GMO popcorn in my house, popped in coconut oil with a little sea salt and cracked black pepper. Holy crap. It is delicious. It's delicious. It's delicious. The veggie straws get a little suspect because a lot of other extra typically gets thrown in there, but we have them in our house. We send our kids to school with it sometimes. Harry L says, do you work out your macros? No, I don't weigh them. I don't count them. I have a general intuitive idea of what they are. But once you do this long enough, just like any master craftsman, you understand exactly the feel of the plan, which is why I said to you guys earlier, for those who were actually here earlier in the stream, I said, all of our programs, you go to thedolcediet.com right now. You sign up for the 4-week, 3 weeks to shredded program, lose 21 pounds in 21 days. Yeah, it's amazing. Or you go to the 12-week living lean, 3 weeks to shredded bundle, lose 40 pounds in 12 weeks, like Mr. Russ did, Russell Harding, right here inside this very same stream. You can go there, follow those programs, and lose that type of weight and feel absolutely amazing. But aha, I tricked you. I tricked you. My job is to trick you in a way. What do you mean, Dolce? How could you do that? It's a Trojan horse. I use these programs to teach you to feed yourself for the rest of your life. That's the point of it. So when you say, do I work out my macros? No, I don't work out my macros. I know what I need to eat to look the way I want to look, to train the way I want to train, to live the way I want to live, to taste what I want to taste. It becomes very easy, very intuitive. Anyone who's good at their job, you guys, you all do something in life that you're really good at. Maybe you're just really good at video games, or you're good at like making the perfect cup of coffee, or you're like an amazing like artist or something. Everyone's really good at something. You kind of learn the basics of it early on, right? You learn the basic fundamentals, the tenets, and then your artistic expression comes out. Same thing with nutrition. And what's interesting is you've been eating your entire life. You've been eating your entire life. And there's a mental disconnect between the relationship with your food and how it makes you look and feel, right? We blunt that, we disconnect it. We don't want to hear it. So when you follow one of our programs, we don't rub that in your face. We just teach you how to eat properly. And people are like, man, I feel amazing. I can't believe there's so much food. This menu is delicious. Like, I can't believe how much weight I'm losing. Like, I look leaner. I'm stronger. Like, I'm performing better. Like, I made weight. I won my fight. Like, we won the weight. We just helped this massive team hospital win a weight loss competition, right? These are medical professionals. They destroyed everyone in their network by following our program. Weeks later, they're still following it, and all their friends, all their competitors in their network all put the weight back on and more, because we teach you how to eat. We teach you how to live. That's my goal, right? I mean, I get shredded, like all that fun stuff, squats and steak, and that's all cool stuff, right? That's to get you to pay attention to it, because once we get down to the fundamental principles, you guys see what it really is. It's intelligent programming of healthful whole foods that have high net nutrients and a lower total caloric load, spread evenly throughout the day to improve digestive efficiency, but portioned in a manner that's tasty and delicious and affordable relative to your budget, but also in line with your goals. You want to do an MMA fight? You want to swim the English Channel? You want to do a CrossFit competition? You want to go chase Cam Hanes around a 200-mile ultra marathon? Like, whatever you want to do, we can do that on our program easily. We can. The grocery list pretty much doesn't change. That's one of the most awesome things I say all the time is my 89-year-old grandma Rhoda had the exact same grocery list as Ronda Rousey when Ronda was fighting for the world title. Exactly. Slightly different proportion. Grandma would go to grandma camp and she would do chair aerobics and kind of like, the little cute, little kind of like water thing where Ronda's out there sparring shark tanks 5x5 and swimming fucking hard laps in the Olympic pool at 5 a.m. The net nutrients were the same. The grocery list was the same, but the way they would put it together was slightly different. That's all true. What else we got? Vedator says, hey, Mike, do more videos with Mirsad, please. How to increase aerobic capacity. I absolutely will. Love Mirsad. He'll be on soon. How to increase aerobic capacity, time and consistency. Time and consistency. You want to train low intensity and high intensity and intervals. Well, I should actually say low intensity, low intensity steady state, medium intensity steady state, and high intensity intervals. That is walking, that is jogging, and that is running, right? People think like running, oh, I can run. Yeah, you can run, but you can't run very far, very long relative to the individual. We work with guys like Galen Rupp. Galen actually took third won the bronze medal, I should say, in the 2016 Olympic Games, 4 years already, which is crazy, with an average time of just over 5 minutes over 26.2 miles. I've never run a 5-minute mile in my entire life. Galen did that for an entire marathon. So it's relative to the individual. Part of his training was even faster fartlek style training. Sprinting and then pausing, sprinting, then pausing, and sprinting and then recovering, right? So low intensity, moderate intensity, high intensity interval. Raul says, wait, Mike Mumford, you Dolce started another round of 3 weeks to shredded Tuesday. Looking forward to further results. Yes, Mike, that is awesome, brother. I cannot wait to hear of your great success. Round 2 is always amazing. I love round 2. I love when people do round 2 with 3 weeks to shredded. Anyone who's a member of the online platform at thedolcediet.com, once you become a member, you can run as many new programs as you want to, which is awesome. So you go through, you pay for round 1. That's great. You do the 4 weeks, you continue on through the membership program, and you can run more of 3 weeks to shredded or living lean or however that goes. You can keep running and resetting programs, starting at new body weight through the old program at the old body weight. When people do like round 2, the results are fucking insane, right? Because it has a built-in reverse diet to it. You've already gone through it. The metabolism is cranking now. You have all these high net nutrients in your body. You are a healthier version of yourself. And Mike, you know that. Round 2 becomes fucking awesome. Round 3, dare I say, Mike Mumford, will be crazy. Raul Duke says, Dolce, the other week I asked you about nighttime binging. After that, I threw away the cereal and pastries, and I'm on the frozen grape cashew train. So good, I don't even find myself eating too many. Raul, I'm so proud of you, my friend. I thought about you a few times, actually, wondering. I was like, I wonder if he actually did that. And you did it, bro. You still get the snack. And how delicious is the frozen grapes and the cashews? But now, how awesome does it feel to wake up the next day looking the way that you do? Good for you. Mike Mumford says, additionally, this recent video series is loaded with information. Thank you. The part 1 through 5, man, I'm really proud of that, what we have out there. So make sure everyone goes and watches. Initially, it's a little scary seeing all of the food when you're trying to lose weight. I now understand the science of replacing garbage food with scientific nutrition. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. That's exactly what we're talking about, Mike Mumford. It is a little scary seeing all that food when trying to lose weight. But now, once you understand the difference between healthful whole foods and all the processed synthetic crappy garbage out there, you can see how you can eat the same amount of total calories. You don't need to eat the same amount of total calories. You can see how when you eat it, how you feel when you eat the healthy whole food. So awesome, man. Keep going. Cronus, just wanted to say before logging off that seeing how your presence on YouTube and Instagram has switched up the last 2 years is incredible for me and potentials for millions of people. Cronus, I appreciate that, man. We're working hard. right? We're just trying to bring you the most honest, actionable, evidence-based information. That's not just a tagline. That's the truth. That's what motivates us every day. We want to help you guys as much as we can, give you all the information that you may or may not have access to. I know there's other channels that have higher production and high paid video editors, and you know, they have all these like catchy clickbaity titles, and you know, all this, you know, natty or not, and like all this drama beef videos. Man, we just want to bring you content. I mean, every so often we'll tell you like, hey man, this guy's like, you know, maybe this guy's a D-bag, you know, or I don't even use people's names because I'm not about that. So I'll attack ideas. I'll discuss ideas for sure. I never attack people's names, right? I most definitely and certainly can. We don't, that's not what we do here. But I appreciate that. And we're going to keep it this way. And I appreciate you guys for engaging. So every time you click that thumbs up, or you subscribe, hit the notification, when you leave comments after these videos posts, just throw a comment for the algorithm, as they say, after these videos post. And that should help the YouTube overlords continue to grow the channel. And that's something we are trying to do. But I'm only going to grow the channel by helping you guys. Like only by helping you guys you know, live a better life. I'm not going to do it by tearing other people down. That's just not the way we work here. What else we got? Chris says, also on round 2 of 3 weeks shredded and feeling so clean and light, dropped 20 pounds on round 1. Yes. Already down another 3 pounds, now focusing on killing the stubborn love handles, lower back fat. Thanks, Mike. Chris, that is fucking awesome, 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 my man. That makes me so happy. And that's what I said, Mike Mumford. Also, when you're following the online platform at thedolcediet.com, for those who don't know, that's what these guys are following. They went to thedolcediet.com. They logged in to become a member of our online portal, diet and exercise program, 4-week or 12-week plan, your choice. Start whenever you want. Vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, whatever you want, all there on your mobile, on your tablet, on your laptop. Diet and exercise program personalized to you by my team of registered dietitians, exercise physiologists, myself, of course, and our web experts. We brought you what we feel is I believe it's the most effective for sure, because we see all the crazy freaking results. We have it like, is it like a 96+% retention ratio? Some insane freaking number that's like industry, like breaking number, because it works. It works with databases and resources and a lot of really cool stuff. We got more cool stuff coming your way. If anybody wants to go, just go to thedolcediet.com. Use promo code BURNFAT. You'll save 20%. Why not save 20% right now? Get in the best shape of your life and join join the party. You know, like kind of like a little bit of a joke to say, but it's true. You might not know how good it feels to be at your best. Most people don't. I had a conversation with my buddy the other day. Most people don't know how it feels to truly feel good. They just don't know it because they've never actually felt good before. This is what we want to teach you. This is what we want to share with you. And again, it's all at thedolcediet.com. Chris says the best money spent on fitness goals coupled with all the live info guaranteed. That's right. We get all this free live info on top of it, by the way. And Gronus says the world is getting effed up with fake stuff. This is the future. Amen. That is the truth. We will only bring you the best information. Mr. Russ was able to snag a West Side Scout. Ooh, reverse hyper, and it will be here tomorrow. Can't wait to add that to my Dolce Diet workouts. I love my reverse hyper. Oh, I hate it. But I love it. I get on it 3 times a week religiously. I freaking love the way it makes me feel, but it's work. Don't get it twisted. That reverse hyper, Russ, that is going to be some serious work. Good for you. Vedator says, one more question. I eat a lot of honey, 5 to 6 teaspoons daily, usually in my oats. Any refections? That does sound a bit of a lot. I would be careful. That's a lot of teaspoons, but depends on where you are. I mean, the quality of the honey. Is it fresh, raw, local? You know, very white. Well, might be. How many total calories are you consuming per day? What's your level of expenditure and output? If you're putting 6 teaspoons in one bowl of oatmeal, that will be a lot. I would not do that. I mean, 1 teaspoon to me tastes way too sweet. And I do use local raw honey also. I would, but I don't know. Without knowing your exact situation, it would be ill-advised of me to give, an uneducated response. So I say, make sure it's based upon activity, default to rule number 2. All right, guys and gals, it's an hour 33, 93 minutes of this live stream. I really appreciate you guys being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for this. George says, hey, Dolce, any discernible relationship between blood type and certain foods, nutrients? No. Now, you can find deficiencies through blood work, and some people confuse that. So your blood work might show you you have certain type of deficiencies that we can then prescribe certain foods. But if you're like type A, type O, there has been no credible data to date to actually prove an association between menu and blood type, right? The blood type diet, that's a great marketing gimmick. I mean, awesome, well conflated information, but a healthful whole food diet of local, organic, fresh, in season foods is by far the best. The vast majority of the human population will do much better on an omnivoric meal plan than any of the other, restrictive meal plans. Each one of us can have certain individual physiological differences that can be found through working with a good physician, your own personal medical doctor, and comprehensive blood panel being done. Guys and gals, I appreciate you, each and every one of you. Last time right now, I will paste this. If anybody's interested in stocks and trading and making money and investing, check out Webull. I just put the link right there. You'll get 3 free stocks between $800 and $1,600, which is awesome. That's a little thing that they're running right now. I think 2 stocks, just full disclosure, which is fine. I just want you guys to consider it and get in the market. I love Webull. This is where I do my investing, and I personally invest. I'm not telling you to do it. I love VOO, Vanguard's S&P 500 index fund. I dollar cost average the 1st and 15th of every month. I buy a little piece. I also invest in Cathie Wood's ARK, ARKK. This is a technology-based index fund, which I think is phenomenal. I think there's huge room for growth there. I've been investing a little bit in some speculative stocks. I got to tell you, Apple, I think, is a long-term company. Tesla, I think, is a long-term company. And also NIO is a EV company, a car company, electric vehicle company out of China who really is on a surge right now. There's something to consider. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm not saying, but I would say look in your cabinet, look in your garage, look around your house, look at the products you use most. Shopify, Zoom, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft. I mean, are any of these companies going anywhere over the next 5 to 10 years? That's something to consider. But anyway, that's, we remember we always talk about fitness, family, finance, future, and for me, which is why I feel comfortable sharing that for you guys to consider. I mean, make your own decisions here, of course. TheDolceDiet.com, promo code BURNFAT, save 20% on the 4-week or 12-week online personalized diet and exercise program. Also, new members will now be enrolled into my private VIP Facebook group that is reserved only for members of the online platform at no additional cost. This is like a Patreon account for free for members of that site, which is awesome. So that's blowing up right now, but it will be only for people who are members of our online platform at thedolcediet.com, which is awesome. Burn fat again, save that cash if you want to. And last is the work with Mike, the one-on-one consultation. I dropped my price by 70% when the pandemic hit, and I'm in no rush to raise it. I don't want to raise it because I get to speak with so many freaking amazing people all around the world. That's the best part of my day, and I'm actually changing my schedule now to actually be more available to you guys because the demand is there. Simply go to DolceDietShop.com if you're interested in that. Thank you. All right, guys and gals, I appreciate you. It's the weekend. I'll probably be back on at least one time. Check us out on Instagram. I'll do an Instagram live Q&A tomorrow for sure. So follow us on there. Also, follow my workouts, follow my meals on Instagram if you're interested to see what I'm actually doing. How am I living? That's all on the Instagram stories and timelines. I appreciate you guys. Until next time. Boom.